Guys, Mons here. On this episode of Ball in Months, we're going to be looking at the Lakers weekly review. This one is going to be a Luka Glazing session. I do apologize about that, but this is going to be a Luka Glazing session for me. Luka MVP. That's the subplot here, and also LeBron fitting into his role. Just before I get started, if you haven't subscribed to my channel so far, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you're already subscribed, I do appreciate the support. So let me just get started here. Like I said, Lakers weekly review. That's the title, but this is going to be a Luka Doncic Glazing session. Luka Doncic has been absolutely fantastic so far this season. I know I criticized him a couple of weeks ago. However, ever since then, most of the season I've been leading the league in scoring. For me, Luka's never been the issue. Has never been the issue. Has never been offensively with Luka. For me, it's about trying hard and being a willing defender, which I explained in my last video. So, like I said, a willing defender is someone who would actually going to try the hardest on defense. He's not going to be the best defender, but he's looking to try. And he stop bitching and complaining to the referee after every single call. And that obviously makes him get back quicker on transition defense as well. And that obviously is going to help the team. For me, this one, like I said, is going to be a Luka Glazing session. Lakers have won 10 out of the last 12 games. I know they had a loss today. They had a loss to the Pistons, but that's a shared loss. I know Pistons were without Kate Cunningham, and also Kate Cunningham, I feel sorry for him simply because he's probably going to be out injured for the rest of the season, or majority of whatever's left this season before the postseason, and he might miss the threshold in terms of the All NBA selection because of that. I think he's going to be I think you have to play 65 or 66 game, and I think it's going to be unfortunate for him. Like I said, Luke has been absolutely phenomenal. He's an offensive genius. Goodness gracious. He's been absolutely fantastic. He's won 2 back-to-back Player of the Week, and he's averaging 42 points per game. Let me say that again. He's averaged 42 points per game this week. It's been absolutely phenomenal in my opinion. This is Luke I fell in love with when he was at Dallas. He was offensively, he's just a genius. He's an offensive guru. For me, he's probably one of the best offensive players I've seen play in the NBA since I started watching the NBA. This is just how this world was been doing the last couple of weeks. For me, Luka MVP. Stay with me. Luka MVP. I hope he wins the MVP this year. I'm pushing his MVP. I'm pushing Luka's MVP agenda so much. I think he deserves to win the MVP in my opinion. Without him, this Lakers team will be probably in the play-in or even pushing to get into the play-in in my opinion. That's how good he's been and that's how important he's been. That's it. MVP means most valuable player. And if you look at all the other candidates, for me, he's the most valuable player to his team, in my opinion. So there's no debate about that. Luka should be the MVP, in my opinion. When Luka's playing like this, for me, he's the best player in the world, without doubt. He's leading the league. I'm just going to run through a couple of stats here for you for this season for Luka. So he's leading the league in scoring at 33.4 points per game. He's leading the league in 3 points made. He's first. He's also leading the league in 30 points game. He's also leading the league in 40 points game, and he's also first in terms of rebounds amongst the guards, and he's second in 30 points triple double. I'd imagine Jokic has that record for the first, and he's third in assists per game. So basically, all the metrics he uses to calculate the MVP, he's in top 2, top 3 of those metrics. For me, Luka MVP. Like I said, say it with me, Luka MVP. Like I said, there's also a stat there I found very interesting for Luka. It was obviously his team is third in the West. He's leading the league in scoring 33.4 points per game, leading the league in 3 points made, leading the league in 30 points game, he's second in triple double, and he's also third in assists per game. And I said his team is third in the West, the wild West. His team is third in the West, and he's the first player to average 30 points per game in 9 straight win in the history of the NBA. For me, all this, everything just points to me at Luka winning the MVP. I hope he gets the MVP this season. Like I said, this is a full Luka Glazing session, but I will take a small pivot and talk about LeBron. LeBron James fitting into this team. There was a narrative there saying LeBron, like this team was worse with LeBron. For me, like I said a couple of weeks ago, absolute nonsense. LeBron has bought into his role. When he was injured, he sat down and watched how the team was playing. And LeBron has the highest IQ of a basketball player I've ever seen. So he knows what he needs to do. He knows what this team requires him. So for this team, he requires to be maybe the second leader to Luka, but also one of the best defender. Is a lot to ask at the age of 41, but he's trying his best. Good rebounder, and also maybe pass up on difficult shots to get his teammates better looks, in my opinion. And also, like, there was a game winner there that Luka hit against the Magic. So basically, this is the effect of LeBron. There was a side out. Lakers were down by 1. There was a side out in the last 5 seconds of the game, but the way LeBron made a run to the basket attracted three players went with him, and then Luka was left open in the, in the 3 point line. And Luka obviously dead eye shooter, bang, hit the 3 point, and Lakers won by I think 1 or 2 points in that game. That was a buzzer beater. So for me, it's also great to see LeBron fitting into this role, buying into this role, simply because it's not easy. When you're a great player like LeBron, I'll give you some example. Allen Iverson never bought into his role later in his career. Russell Westbrook never bought into his role later in his career. Carmelo Anthony never bought into his role later in his career. But LeBron, for me, the greatest of all time, buying into a role says a lot for me about his humility and his IQ of basketball. So that's fantastic. That's how the Lakers has been absolutely rolling. Obviously, Luka dropping 42 points per game as well does help. And also, I also want to congratulate LeBron on being having the most games. Also, I want to congratulate LeBron on having the most played games in the NBA history, passing Robert Parrish. For me, before LeBron started breaking all this longevity stats, longevity was seen as a great thing in basketball. But as soon as LeBron started breaking all this record and your favorite player's record, all of a sudden now longevity is such a negative thing. But look, that's a topic for another day. I want to discuss that towards the end of the season. That's pretty much it. I can't wait for the playoffs. I think this Lakers team can do something this special in this playoff if everyone stays healthy. Thank you very much for making it to the end of my video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much. Peace out.